up for this second game.
Yeah, a little surprising just in the fact that we don't really, again, those power picks we were talking about in the mid lane as well. So a lot of strong options available across the board in every position still here on the other side as well. So both of these teams now going to be looking for big all-in engagements, which is going to make these fights around the objectives that much more exciting. Camille as the final pick here for Queso. I like this pick here because it does give them that split pushing option. And really, if you look at the side of Navi, who's going to answer a split pushing Camille? This Camille gets a lead early. It can just take over this game, and no one is really going to be able to answer that. Wukong is going to be your best option. And if Fiora gets
2-man or 3-man minimum to get rid of that Camille. And even then, she just got hookshot. If she knows she doesn't have the advantage, she just... boom, she just gets yeeted out of there instantly, so she's not going to take those odds whatsoever. And I gotta say, I fully agree. I really like the composition of Team Queso. The combos of CC, the team fighting capabilities of that team is strong. They got also the Braum, which also synergizes really well into that composition, plus level 1 power spike that he's got with that passive is just so good that they could be looking to go for an invade. This is why you see him Memorize being so confident on his position, looking for some wards. He's going to put a deep ward. Unfortunately, not able to cleanse it, so that's going to make things a little bit easier for Team Queso to just know exactly where Na'Vi are in that rotation, especially for Ghost to know what he's doing in his own respective rotation. Unfortunately, Tribus got warded away, Memorized, and Ibu, but they just do not know that, so Mumu and Juicy just going to be avoiding that entirely in their matchup. But here we go, we've got Xayah racking into this one, which I think is one of the few S-tier compositions in the Dragon lane, and if the execution's on point, it's just such a hard matchup to go up against.
Yeah, and well, Braum is a good choice to deal with it, though. Being able to throw down that shield can block the feathers from being able to get behind you for the recall. So definitely going to have to keep our eyes on that play, or that interaction, I should say. But early on, obviously, Misfortune is going to have an advantage here. Just the double up can be so powerful in this 2v2 scenario through the first few levels. That's why Misfortune gets banned a lot. Is her early game is incredibly oppressive, and then obviously late game she can throw that bullet time down and just melt through a team fight. But the one kind of downside of Misfortune is that lack of mobility. If she does get caught, she can get taken down. Although last game we saw Mumu doing kind of putting a counter claim to that.
He's playing tank Misfortune, okay? He's changing the meta, okay? He's giving it a shot. Though, a little fire of it on this Scuttle. Going to dive on forward onto the banner. Great Blade Caller. Going to get Memorized rooted away. He's just going to get some good inherent damage right on top of it. Though we are seeing, I'm mainly going to be looking at Ghost here. He is finishing off that rotation. He did have a ward spotted earlier, so he knows exactly what's going to be happening. And he knows that this Camille's just not in a good spot. She hasn't hit level 5. Hookshot's going to be up, though, and he's going to be able to easily avoid that fight and make his way back to his tower with a hookshot, so he's going to be all set. But Ghost is not giving up. He's staying around that position, maybe trying to go for another contest. But Andrew said he's doing the exact same rotation as been happening earlier for Ghost, and he's just going to try and maybe go for Cataclysm on top of Mumu or on top of Juicy.
And it just feels so unfair playing against the Camille early on. Because, like, if you're a poke top laner, you're like, all right, I'm going to go for this poke. And she's like, oh, no, I used an ability and attacked, so I have a shield now. And then you finally get a gank from your jungler. And she's like, oh, I'm just going to hookshot away. That didn't happen. It's such a demoralizing feeling to have to play against. You really just have to... your goal is to just go even with Camille. If you're not going to be able to beat her one-on-one, but if you can at least stay even, it feels like a victory.
Yeah, and the thing is, especially with a Camille, if she falls behind, she is a champion that has to full commit to those fights later on into the game. Go for the Hectic Ultimatum to get some impact. And the moment that the Hectic Ultimatum is used, she can't cleanse damage whatsoever. Sure, she can get a shield and apply slow with the sweep, but other than that, she's going to be a very easy target to take down. So I think that here, Camille is just going to be about letting her split push through the entirety of this game and try and join fights later on if possible. But now, going to be slowly having to talk about this Drake, as it's going to be popping in just the next 45 seconds. It's going to be a Mountain Drake. And by seeing the inherent composition of Team Queso, I do think that for the likes of Andres Zed, Acolyte, and Memorize, getting that extra shield throughout the entirety of that game could make matters a little bit easier for them. And we saw how important it is for Misfortune, apparently, to keep a Misfortune alive. So I'm sure that Team Queso would like to have it. But knowing Na'Vi and how good their composition can be later on into the game, I think that would also be a Drake that's good. So they both want it, which I think goes without saying. They all want that Drake, so they're going to give it their best shot. There's no nice little bit of stun onto Ruiz. Going to be a nice trade going away off Sky.
It's going to use the expanse, but not going to catch anything. Usually pulls the spaceships back into orbit. And She's going to be now memorized, holding down this lane so that Ruiz can go back to base, come back with a completed Archangel Staff. So that's going to be feeling pretty good for the Orianna, having a little bit of extra survivability. And of course, just having your first item completed. It's not a big power spike, but oh, this could be a big catch.
Oh, they didn't see that it was memorized in the bush. But he's actually taking a lot of damage right there. Let's not forget, there's still no first blood, so that's an extra 500 gold to whoever gets that one. Hectic ultimatum from Acolyte, and we said it, if he can't come after that one, he's going to go down. First blood going away with Malphite. Great stuff coming out from them. Shockwave onto Mimi, just buying a little bit of time, but this is just in dominant fashion going away of Na'Vi as they pick up nice 2 kills already onto both EB and Memorize. And now because of that kill picking up, they're just going to go straight for that Mountain Drake. So overall, Na'Vi taking that one so well early on.
Ruiz not going to have an answer for this. So Dragon will go over along with those 2 kills. That's a big start for Na'Vi. And now they're just going to be able to walk away as the respawns not going to be coming through in time. Acolyte, walked all the way down and just never really got into that fight at all. It just kind of got pushed out early on and wasn't able to be a part of it. So, again, it's one of those situations where it's a tough call to make in the moment because you want to roam down, you want to be able to help your team, but at the same time, because so much damage had been done before he was even able to get there, almost would have been better off just sitting in lane and split pushing that entire time, getting extra minions, getting extra turret damage, maybe even taking a turret down in the process. But again, that's one of those hindsight is 2020 type of situations where Acolyte just not able to get involved in that fight whatsoever.
Not able to make much happen. Though I want to use this opportunity while we're live on stream to get also some feedback from the viewers on something. A lot of people asking, what's the score? I want to wonder, do you guys not see the little dot next to the player names? If it's too small, tell me, and I will bring a change to the overlay to make it a little bit more visible. But say yes in chat if it's too small, say no if it's good. As now we're going to be also having a roam towards the top side. Acolyte in a pretty bad spot. Sweep to get the extra slow, move his way back to safety. And unfortunately, because of that hook shot, he's just always going to be in a very safe spot. He's going to go and make his way back to base. But now with the Herald currently up, you can see that Na'Vi, by how they're positioning, taking control of this river, and especially by clearing that ward away thanks to Ghost on the sweeper, they might be looking for an option to go towards that overall objective. This Ghost going to be looking for the initiation. Jarvan jumping his way back to safety. But it seems like Na'Vi are just not ready just yet, especially because Xayah went back to base and Malphite is currently towards the bottom side of the map. But the TP is up and available, so he can easily make his way back up there if need is be.
And this is all 5 members of Queso here for this Rift Herald. Again, committing everything to the Rift Herald, even though there's a push going on. But Malphite is teleporting in, and he's going to be going in with Rakan first, and then Malphite on top.
Damn, the health bar of Team Queso aren't looking good. That bullet time was good inherently, but unfortunately, the damage just not going to be coming on through. Ghost in a really nice position with his team following up, forcing a flash away from Acolyte. And it's just, that fight just barely begun, and the health bar of Team Queso just melted. They just got sent back into the Shadow Realm, and now they're going to turn that also into a mid tower, which is the most important tower of the game early on, and that's just going to be Na'Vi. 6-0 already with a goal lead already going their way of 5,000. This is not looking pretty for Queso.
Yeah, not only, again, finding the kills, getting the objective, and getting themselves the turret on top of it. That is just everything and more being picked up by Na'Vi in that situation. And again, Queso hard committing to the Rift Herald, and they get caught for it. They pay the price. They get nothing out of it, and just going to be falling further and further behind. And Acolyte, we talked about this, Camille. We were expecting it to be just split pushing all game long, and that's twice now that they have pulled Acolyte away from a split push opportunity around an objective, and they ended up losing it and getting nothing from it. So Acolyte, had a bit of a gold lead early on, but that has completely disappeared. It's now down 1,000 gold to the Malphite because Malphite's gotten himself 3 kills.
It's just like, you want to try and play split push, we're going to force a fight. And that's exactly how Na'Vi have been playing. I love how today they've just been playing their compositions, executing those compositions, I got to say, extremely well, but also countering the composition of Team Queso because they're just not able to really play split as they would like to, especially on the likes of Acolyte and going for those split push opportunities. So I think there's just Na'Vi being on top of it. As Andrew said, going to put himself the Herald towards the top side. Great engage onto the Unstoppable Force. Garen's going to get dived upon heavily. Everything, so many resources used right there. 3 ultimates, I believe, actually. And that's going to be now Na'Vi turning the tide. He's going to go for the Cyclone. Knock up maybe onto Acolyte. Can he find it? Yes, he can. Going for the double. And I believe that's going to be a very free triple. 3 ultimates for Malphite kill. And then giving that all back to the side of Na'Vi. That is not a good trade, I got to say. As that's just going to be another dominant fight going the way of Na'Vi.
And again, Queso, they drop the Rift Herald. They get a couple plates, sure, but they don't even get a turret. They don't get the pressure in order to secure themselves a dragon, as now the Ocean Dragon is available, and it will be Na'Vi that have the priority position in this river, as everyone is going to be making their way there. So, again, just kind of misplays from Queso, not really playing to their own win condition whatsoever. Jarvan's going to throw down the flag, see that hey, there's nothing he can do here. And this is just going to be another dragon going the way of Na'Vi. And I mean, I don't know what Queso has to do here at this point. They've just mismanaged the early portions of this game so poorly that it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to try and make a comeback here. I mean, the opportunity is still there, but you really have to commit hard to the split push kind of idea, and use the fact that you have Orianna and Misfortune to clear out waves while this Camille is off doing her own thing. You cannot keep calling this Camille to join the team around certain objectives.
And we got to keep in mind that, once again, this is Na'Vi. There's Na's a 5-man crew in the voice chat, by the way. And it seems like they are. They're really playing just so well together. It's just like, if they're all in voice chat, well, no, they're just using pings and all that good stuff and making things work. And even then, Acolyte, look at that in the top side. He's trying to push onto Garen, but Garen is always forcing a response. And that teleport is up for him, but there's no teleport away for Acolyte. So if he has to join up in those fights, he just can't do so on the snap of a finger. As Garen, he's going to be soaking away those honey fruits. The redemption comes out. Clear that wave a little bit quicker, potentially also. Not really going to be great usage, but at the end, there's no wave, so that tower is going to be getting that extra armor, extra also magic resistor. We got ourselves in patch 2.1b. It's going to be a little bit hard to take down, but it really doesn't matter. They're just so far ahead. That tower is still going to melt into absolute nothingness as Na'Vi an extra objective. And now, because of that tower actually falling, they can get even more control around this Baron pit. And if they want to secure it later on into the game, it's going to be such an easy task at hand for them.
Yeah, Acolyte maybe looking for an opportunity to go in here, but he's just going to get jumped on. That's both the Malphite and the Wukong going in. Does manage to get out with the Hextech Ultimatum, but it's not going to be for long as he does get chased down. And now the rest of Queso moving up here, but the rest of Na'Vi is here as well. This fight is just going to continue for now.
Sky going to go for the flank onto the side, going to try and take them down with those little stars. He felt like in front. Oh, the flash actually pushing Ibu back into his team. Is going to be a flash for flash. Ibu will stay up and going. As Ghost, his little fake was going to stay in the tower. That's going to be another tower to go in the way of Na'Vi into the top side. And Moom is just not giving up. He's so proactive on this pick. I love to see it. But now, because of them finding all of this, I thought they could potentially make their way towards the Baron, but it seemed like they did take a little bit too much damage from that one. But man, see, like, I love to see overall just a you're already on Soul playing as a tank. He's like, I'm frontline now. I'm just going to push you back in my team. And it works out fine. He forced a flash away.
And again, you just look at the gold leads that Na'Vi have across the board in each individual position. It's about a 2,000 lead in every individual role, top to bottom. So just this massive lead that they have allows them to play this much more aggressive, even though they're not necessarily a team that should be kind of making these plays in the side lanes. They're able to do so because they can go in disadvantaged number situations and still manage to find team fight victories. And that's exactly what we just saw there. They go in 2-on-1 on the Camille and just continued chasing. Even though they didn't get the initial kill, they said, hey, we're strong enough. We're just going to keep chasing. By the time that they're able to get any of us low, the rest of their team's going to be here. And right now, Ghost is just solo killing the Misfortune.
He just dived down. He didn't get punished. 3-man knockup into the Unstoppable Force. Amazing plays from the side of Garen. And now the Hectic Ultimatum is going to lock him at the tower. Hulk shot back to safety. Acolyte survives, but you can't really say that's going to be the case for the rest of Team Queso, as Andrew says, going to be dived upon, taken in a bad situation. Just go for the overall Cataclysm, but it's just not going to happen. And boy, oh boy, are Na'Vi ahead. And they just want to wrap up the game. They want to make it less than 15 minutes, potentially. I mean, they still got a pretty big wave. Acolyte already used a Hectic Ultimatum, so there's nothing he can do. He's not a threat to Na'Vi. And there you go. They're just going to be putting their way straight onto the Nexus, and this is going to be the 2-0. They said it in the interview. Ghost said it, and they are looking to close it off potentially, but no, the respawns are a little bit too quick, so Team Queso are given a second chance at life. But I just don't think it's going to be enough when it comes down to it. Na'Vi are just so far ahead. The comeback is just so far out of their grasp.
Yeah, 14,000 gold down, and now they're about to be 8% damage down as well, as the Infernal Dragon is going to go over here. A couple members of Queso are taking a look, but there's nothing for you there. And Karen goes in, gets 2 knockups, and that's another kill for the Aurelion Soul. Nerf be damned, he is just on fire here looking for some more stuns, finds 2 with that huge Galaxy. Going to be just cleaning up now as a couple more kills coming through, and it is on to the Nexus. Ghost called their shot, and they secure it 2-0. This is the Na'Vi that I was looking forward to at the start of this event. They came out of the gates flat, but they have gotten better and better every single time they have played.
They said it. They fixed Na'Vi, by the way. Like, huge props to him, because the shot calling capabilities of this team are absolutely insane. We're still only 2 to 3 players in voice chat BTW. And looking at this one, 7-0, a flawless